Hi everyone. Today I'm introducing you Unit 7 Meaning of Market where perfect competition will be discussed today. Meaning of market. In common parlance, market refers to a place where sellers and buyers meet for the purpose of transaction of goods and services. But in economics, market refers to a wide range of area where buyers and sellers interact together for the settlement of transaction. In common understanding, market implies a place, a certain geographical place, where sellers and buyers interact each other for the transaction of goods and services. But in economics, we do not necessarily need a certain place. Without a specific area, settlement can be done between the sellers and buyers. That also can be told as the market. According to Professor Benham, market is any area over which buyers and sellers are in such close touch with one another, either directly or through dealer, that the prices obtained in one part of the market affect the price paid in other part. So this is the definition of Professor Benham. It is the area over which buyers and sellers are in such a close touch with one another, either directly or through dealer. They are in touch directly or through dealer that the prices obtained in one part of the market affect the prices paid in other part. See, this is the definition of market. In the recent years, various means of transport and communication have developed rapidly that buyers and sellers can easily come into close contact with each other for the settlement of their transactions without establishing face-to-face relationship. In the modern world, it is not necessary to meet physically. It is not necessary to meet physical face-to-face relationship, but it can be transaction can be done without meeting physically, without their close contact. But transaction is done through different means in the modern world. In short term, market implies existence of commodity. Market implies existence of commodity, existence of sellers and buyers, contact or interaction between sellers and buyers, willingness and ability to buy and sell commodity, and market clearing price. So these are the things that include market. So existence of commodity, there must be commodity and existence of sellers and buyers and close contact or interaction between sellers and buyer. There is existence and there is contract interaction and willingness and ability to buy and sell commodity and market clearing price, and the price is there that clears the market where the demand is equal to supply at the certain price of the commodity. So under the market, there are various forms of market. Number one is perfect competition. So we discuss about the perfect competition market. Perfect competition is a market structure where a large number of buyers and sellers engage in buying and selling homogeneous product at a given price without any government regulation and possessing perfect knowledge of market and perfect mobility of productive resources at a specified time frame. So perfect competition is a structure where there are numerous buyers and many sellers who engage in buying and selling same product. In market, perfect competition market, products are supposed to be same and price is given by the market. Product at a given price without any government regulation. There is no government regulation, no government restriction on the price and quality and quantity, and possess perfect knowledge of the market. Both consumers and producer or seller, they both have the perfect knowledge of market, and there is perfect mobility of productive resources at a specified time period. And productive resources, factor of production, can be transferred from one place to another. There is no barrier, there is no restriction in a certain time frame. If such kind of transaction is done between the buyers and sellers at the going price level without any government regulation, that is called perfect competition. Features of perfect competition: large numbers of buyers and sellers, homogeneous product, free entry and free exit of the firms. Firms, any firm can enter the market if it see there is profitable, or the firm can exit the market if there is loss. Price is given, price is fixed by the industry. There is no government regulations. Government does not regulate, government does not restrict on the free mobility of the market forces, and perfect mobility of productive resources and product factors of production are easily transferred without any barrier, without any blockage, and perfect knowledge of the market. And buyers, they have the perfect knowledge of market regarding price, regarding quantity and other features of the commodity. And producer also, they have perfect knowledge of the inputs. It means at all there is perfect knowledge of the market and normal profit. And producer, they sell the goods, or sellers, they sell the good at the fixed price where the normal profit exists in the perfect competition market. Price and output determination under perfect competition. How price and output is determined, that will be discussed here. Equilibrium of the firm under perfect competition is maintained where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, which is called EMR equal to MC. A firm under perfect competition faces infinitely elastic demand curve. The demand curve of the perfect competition market is perfectly elastic. It means there is demand curve which is parallel to x-axis. An individual firm, the price of a commodity is given in the market. So market fixes the price, and the firm compelled to sell the good at the fixed price. The firm, while making change in the amount of variable factor, evaluate the extra cost incurred on producing extra unit is marginal cost. If firm has to sell extra unit of good, then extra cost is incurred, which is called marginal cost. When a firm earns an extra amount by selling an extra unit of good is marginal revenue. Marginal cost means it is the cost of production or cost incurred while selling an extra unit of good, and margin revenue is the amount received by seller by selling an extra unit of good. This is marginal revenue. Here is the figure. In x-axis, quantity is measured. In y-axis, marginal revenue and marginal cost is shown here. You can see this is parallel to x-axis. This is EMR curve, margin revenue curve, or EMR. When margin revenue curve is there in the perfect competition, this is definitely average revenue, which is called price. As you know, margin revenue and marginal revenue and price and average revenue is same in the perfect competition. So in the beginning, when we start from here, marginal cost declines. Marginal cost is very high. And then gradually, if cost quantities increase, the cost of production declines. And when more and more quantities are produced, then cost of production gradually even declines and it reaches the top, reaches the minimum point. And then even if the quantity is to be produced uh, in the market due to the excessive demand, then more output has to be produced by incurring little bit extra cost. So cost EMC is gradually going up and up here, and again it reaches, it intersect EMR here or price line, and EMC meets AR/EMR at this point 350 unit of goods, and even if one has to produce or supply more quantity, even this meeting point, beyond this meeting point, then EMC becomes above the average revenue or price lines. So in the beginning, EMC is above average revenue or price line here, and quantity produces or quantity demanded is 50. Here, when the quantity demanded is 350, then again beyond this, if more quantity has to be sold or brought in the market or produced, then extra marginal revenue, marginal cost has to be above the price line, general price line. So here these 2 points, the shade area below this ARMR line, this shaded area which shows profit, because this line shows the price line. So if the cost is below the price line, definitely more profit is earned by a firm. And here in two cases, in the initial case where quantity is produced up to 50, the marginal cost is above the price line, and here beyond 350 units of good, marginal cost is above the price line. So these two cases where the black shade is here, this shows the loss area, and this shows the loss area, and this is the profit of point of maximum profit. When we reach this point, this point intersection, point of intersection between the AR and EMR, sorry, point of intersection between AR and EMR, the same line, and EMC. If EMC meets AR from below, this is the maximum profit point. So certain equilibrium of price take a form under perfect condition. So form has equilibrium in the short run, and the conditions of form earns supernormal profit in the short run. In the short run, if form reaches the equilibrium condition, then either form earns supernormal profit, or a form earns normal profit, or a form incur losses but does not close down, and number 4, a form minimize losses by shutting down. These are the alternatives to a form. A firm either runs by obtaining supernormal profit or extra profit, or it simply earns normal profit, or it incurs losses but does not close down. And the next case, fourth case, is thus a firm minimizes their losses by shutting down. All these certain cases of profit and loss are explained with the help of diagram. Here you can see profit maximizing position. Here, this is short-run average total cost, SATC, short-run average total cost, and marginal cost crosses the average total cost by meeting at the minimum point of SATC, and it moves above, it dashes up from this point. This is okay, and here, okay, marginal. This is the marginal cost that reaches the minimum point of SCTC and moves up. Okay, the area. This is the price line. This is the price line, which is parallel to x-axis, which is called UMR, AR, or P. Marginal revenue, which are the same meaning perfect competition. As I told you already, marginal revenue is equal to average revenue, which is equal to price. This is price demand curve, you can say, and this is supply curve. SMC the supply curve. This intersects here at L, and SATC is below this equilibrium point. This is the equilibrium point, and SATC is below the equilibrium point, where the line drawn perpendicular from this equilibrium point L, this perpendicular line meet as the SATC at M, and again drawing perpendicular from M to this y-axis K, the area, shaded area, that shows the excess profit condition of a firm. This is the excess profit condition of a firm. Okay. Here, the same way, this is equilibrium point at K, producing OM quantity of output by a firm, and here SATC now is just tangent to this point, this equilibrium point. SATC tangent to this equilibrium point. So this is the condition of zero profit of a firm, means a normal profit. Normal profit. Here you can see maximum profit maximization position. This is maximum profit earned by a firm. Here normal profit, we can say normal profit earned by a firm, and here loss minimizing case. Loss minimizing case. You can see again this price line and this N. This is the equilibrium point, and SATC is going above this equilibrium point. look, you can see SATC is now above this point. So the area, shaded area above this line, ARMR line, you can say PN, and you can see TS formed by the area formed by TPENS. This shows the loss position to a firm. Okay, three cases we have seen here. This is the profit maximizing position, excess profit position. You can see this is equilibrium point EL at EL. Where is the equilibrium point? Where ARMRP line is made by SMC, this point is the equilibrium point. Okay, and this below this point, SSC is going below this point and forming the area, shaded area. The entire area shows the excess profit or profit maximizing condition of a firm, and where SATC simply becomes tangent to this point, equilibrium point. This is normal profit, zero profit, and this when SATC moves above the normal, this equilibrium point, you can say equilibrium point is here and SATC above this. So this area formed by the formed by a firm is called a loss minimizing case or losses. Here one more case is here, fourth case. This is equilibrium. This is equilibrium, you can see, because the price line and this EMC meet at a point. This is equilibrium point, and this beyond this equilibrium point, you can see SATC is very high, means the price is OP of a firm, of a commodity price is OP, and SATC average, certain average total cost is above this equilibrium price. So high, means lots of losses has to be incurred by a firm. But here you can see another curve is here. SAVC, certain average variable cost, is passing through this Z equilibrium point. It means a firm can survive in the short run in the competitive market. If SAVC also moves above this Z, then it is sure that a firm cannot maintain its variable cost. If SATC simply touches this equilibrium point, it means that a firm can maintain the variable cost. A firm can, even if the firm cannot maintain the fixed costs like building and other staff and other rent and other expenses, that certain average total cost moves up, but that firm is planning to run to survive in the market if it is able to maintain variable cost. So the line SABC, it shows that a firm is able to maintain the variable cost because it is being tangent to Z. So this is the short-down point. If it moves up, if this SABC also moves up above Z, then a firm is compelled to shut down the business. So that is why point Z is called shutdown point. Okay, you please note down, point Z is called shutdown point. So these are the four cases in the short-term market of perfectly competitive firm. And now what about the supply curve? We have discussed about the demand curve, because AR, this price line, AR, EMR, all are demand curve. Okay, these are the demand curve. Here also P, price line, EMR, AR, this is demand curve. What about the supply curve now? So certain supply curve of a competitive firm is that part of marginal cost curve which lies above the average variable cost. As regard industry supply curve, it is the horizontal summation of the certain supply curve of the identical firm constituting an industry. So let's see here. From that part of the marginal cost which lies above the average variable cost, SABC. So this is SABC. If we take any point above this SABC, like this is the MC curve, this point, whatever the point, all this point above the SABC is the supply curve of that particular firm. So this price line, this is the demand curve and this is the supply curve. That must be above this SABC. Okay, curve which lies above the average variable cost. Okay, and here you can see a firm supply curve. Now just consult this. This suppose this is P. We start this is P, and at this point cost is 4, output is 50. If 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 the cost is above 4, 10, then SMC moves up to this point K, which is output is 100. So if the marginal cost is increased, if the marginal cost is increased above the P or SABC, the entire point when we join, that become the supply of a firm, because as you know, the relationship between price and supply, quantity supplied, is that when the price increases, quantity supply is increased. So this is the supply curve of a firm, because firm wants to supply more goods at the increased price, because firm wants to maximize the profit at the increased price if it becomes able to sell all the entire goods in the market at the higher price. So industry is the summation of all forms. So industry is the combination of summation of or integration of all the forms. So industry supply curve is just you can add by combining all the forms supply, this become 5,000, and at this time you can see this was the 4, cost was 4, or at this cost 4 per rupees, you can say 5,000 was the output, and as the cost is increased to 10 or 8, now 10,000, because at this cost 100 for one particular form, but there are so many forms in the market, so by combining all the forms output at the higher price, then this becomes industry supply. When you join the combining output of all the forms, we get the industry supply. So industry supply is formed through the integration of the supply curve of the individual firms in the market. So all the firms in a competitive industry achieve long-run equilibrium when market price or margin revenue equals margin cost equals minimum of average total cost. It means the long run is a period of time during which the firms are able to adjust their output according to the changing condition. If the demand for the product increases, all the firms have sufficient time to expand their plant capacities, train and engage more labor, use more raw materials, replace old machines, purchase new equipments, etc. So in the long run, there is enough time, abundance of time to maintain a firm's output. So in the long run, uh, price is equal to margin revenue equal to margin cost equal to minimum point of long run average total cost. So long run industry equilibrium. Now, since all the competitive firms in the long run make normal profit, all the firms in the long run make normal profit, there is no chance of earning supernormal or extra profit, and are of the optimum size, and there is no tendency for new firms to enter or leave the industry. They are therefore in equilibrium. So in the long run, all the firms they earn normal profit and they are optimized their capacity. When all the identical firms in the industry are in the state of full equilibrium, equating price equal to margin revenue equal to margin cost equal to minimum of total cost, the industry itself is then in equilibrium. So when we meet this condition, price equal to margin revenue equal to margin cost equal to minimum of average total cost, long run average total cost, the industry itself is then in equilibrium. When the industry is in the long run equilibrium, there is an optimum allocation of resources. The consumers get the product at the lowest possible price at the goods as the goods are produced at minimum price in the long run. So in the long run equilibrium, consumers get the goods at the lowest cost and the producer are in equilibrium at the given price. Okay. consumers get the product at the lowest price and the goods are produced at the minimum price, because they are also able to produce the goods in the minimum price. So if they are able to produce the goods in the minimum price, then it doesn't matter to the producer whether the price of the commodity is very high or no, because at the going price they get normal profit, and their tendency is to survive in the market by getting normal profit, by earning normal profit, which is shown here with the help of this figure. You can say revenue and cost is measured in the y-axis, output is measured in the x-axis, and this is the price line that determines the equilibrium position of a firm. Just you see price line which is parallel to x-axis, and this is intersected by the LMC, going above the, cutting the price line from below. This is the equilibrium condition of a firm. And LATC, long run average total cost, this is tangent to this K, LATC, tangent to K, and at this point, all the firms are in normal profit, because price equal to AR MR equal to LMC equal to LATC. Okay, this is the long run equilibrium. Long run supply curve for the industry. Now, what about the long run supply curve? This is the demand curve. You can say we have already discussed. This is the demand. This is the demand curve of the firm, and this is the supply curve of the firm, where demand and supply curve meet at a point K. This is the equilibrium in the long run. But what about the long run supply curve of the industry? Then we can discuss here, if behavior of the cost, if the industry is subject to constant cost, if the industry is running in the constant cost, the shape of the supply curve will be perfectly elastic. That is, it will be horizontal straight line parallel to the x-axis. One case. If it is subject to constant cost industry, if the industry is subject to constant cost, then supply curve of the industry is perfectly elastic. Okay, which is parallel to x-axis. If the industry obeys the law of increasing cost or diminishing return, the shape of the supply curve will be positive. Increasing cost or diminishing return, it will rise from left to right. And if the industry is governed by the law of diminishing cost or increasing return, the long run supply curve will be negative. That is, it will fall downward from left to right. Let's see here. Okay, supply curve of a constant cost industry. You can see firm supply, firm equilibrium in the long run, as we stated earlier. OK is the price. Okay, and this is N is the equilibrium position at the output OP, and L long run average cost is tangent to this price line, and where long run marginal cost coming from below, cutting ARMR curve from below. This is the long run equilibrium. And when we see, if all the firms are in this long run equilibrium, having the constant cost, then supply curve, by adding all these forms, combining all the forms in the perfect combination, we get industry supply curve like this. Output in 1000, because when you combine the output of all the firms in the industry, then we get, this is the demand curve here T, and another demand curve is shifted, here is yes. So in this way, another demand curve may be here. So when we join all this, because price is fixed and the industry is constant cost industry, cost of production is not increased or not decreased, it remains constant. So when we join all these points, K, T, S, we get this supply curve of industry. So here KR is the supply curve of the industry. Supply curve of increasing cost industry. If the cost of production is increasing and diminishing return, then you can see here initially equilibrium is here, and when the cost is increased, then definitely its output will be increased, or firm's output will be increased, and the new output is reached as OT, and the new cost is reached by this new demand curve is drawn here, and this another LAC which is tangent to this new demand curve. Now new equilibrium is established here. So the condition is that when the price is increasing cost, when the cost is increased, then output is increased. And when you combine all industry, all the firms having the same feature, then we get like this. In the beginning, there is equilibrium. When all the firms output is added, then cost of supply is increased, so it moves upward from L to R to a new height. OEM is the initial output of the industry. Then when the increased cost is represented by OT, by combining all the firms cost and output at the increased cost, we get OT quantity where cost is being high. So when we join L and R, we get this SS curve, which is moving above, upward from left to right. This is industry supply curve. Okay. And now supply curve of a decreasing cost industry. Decreasing cost industry. Suppose initially we are here, OH, this is the equilibrium, and now cost is decreased. Now suppose here, sorry, we are here and cost is decreased, so cost of production is decreased. So now new equilibrium is reached from K to F, then initially we were here, industry supply point here at L, and when the cost of production is increased due to different types of economies of scale in the market, administrative economy, technological economy, and so many economies appear in the industry, so due to which cost of production becomes less, so the industry cost, at the increased output, cost of production becomes even less and less. So when we join the L and M, we get the industry supply curve, which is decreasing from left to right. So these are the three cases of the industry cost in the long run. So price determination under the perfect condition. As you know, price is determined from the intersection of demand curve and supply curve. So here, Marshall states the shorter the period which one consider, the greater must be the share of our attention which is given to the influence of demand on value, and longer the period, the more importance will be the influence of cost of production on value. So if the period is short, the greater must be the share of our attention which is given to the influence of demand on value. So if the time is very less, very short, we give more, we are which is given to the influence of demand on value. So there is influence of demand on value, and the longer period importance will be given on the cost of production on value. So this is the statement given by the Marshall. And in market there are two sets of forces tending in the opposite direction. On the one side, there are large number of buyers who compete with one another for the purpose of commodity at low prices. Competition amongst the buyers tend to rise the prices. On the other side, there are large number of sellers who compete with one another for the sale of commodity at the higher prices. So these are the two forces. Two forces, they are competing each other. If buyers compete each other to get the goods um, at the decreased price, lower prices, then there will be competition. That competition pushes the price up. And on the other side, if the sellers are competing each other, then due to their competition, the price may be pushed down. So opposite forces tend to be acting here, which can be shown here. So this is the demand for good of industry, and this is the supply of the particular good and output. So demand curve is just uh, having inverse relationship with the price and output. If price is high, output is less. If price is less, output is more. If price is even less, then output is even more. So opposite to this is supply curve, which is positive relationship, which has positive relationship with demand and price, output and price. If price is here, less supply. If price is to this, more supply. If price is increased even further, then output is even more. So This demand curve is represented by the customers because they always tends to buy more goods at the lower price, and supply curve is represented by the producer who always want to sell more goods at the increased price. Okay, and this is the firm's equilibrium we have already discussed. So I hope uh, you are clear about the features of market, definition of market, and perfect condition market. And if you like my video, if you like my presentation, please share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a good day.